Good morning, guys and gals. We are back again on Kevin's charger sign. So we have several different issues going on with this thing, and this is the fourth video on this. We were hoping to get it done in 2, but obviously that didn't happen. And then we knew we'd be able to get it done in 3, and you know, things happen. So if you guys saw the last video, if you haven't seen the last video, go see it. We'll put a link here somewhere or at the end so you can go watch it. But we had a major fail on the epoxy pour on this thing, and there's several different things going on. So what we decided to do is we're going to fix it on camera, or we're going to attempt to. That's maybe a little premature. We're going to attempt to fix it on camera, let you guys know. But we broke it down into basically 3 different areas that we've got to deal with. Number 1, and first and foremost, is these little letters. And I'm pretty happy that we don't have more issues with these little letters. But we do have some places that had bubbles down in the little letters. I've already taken some of them out, but I've saved some of them to do them on camera. And I'll show you how we're doing that. You put my cheaters on. So, son, if you can zoom in right here. Right in this area, there's a little bit of bubbles, a group of bubbles there. There are big groups up here on the top lines, but I'm working my way down. So all we're using is a Dremel and this little rasp, basically rotary rasp. It's super easy. That's all there is to it. And so what I'm doing is I'm inspecting each one of these letters as I go through, seeing if I can see some bubbles in there. And again, there's not very many. There's a little tiny one there. Anyway, guys, so I'm going to do the rest of these bubbles off camera. When I come back, then we'll move on to... Now, the reason that I've got to do this first is when we sand the whole surface of this thing off, it's going to get really foggy, and it's going to turn white. So then we won't be able to see those bubbles. So I got to get these bubbles taken care of first, get them ground out so that when we sand, we know the bubbles are all taken care of. And then when we come back, we'll move on to the second issue, which is the edge. Then third is that top line, and that's the big daddy. We've got some plans for that. So stick with us. We'll be right back. All right, so we got all the bubbles dealt with in the little lettering down here. Took a few minutes, but it was no big deal. Now we've got the second issue I talked about is the edge. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut that down with the router. However, we're going to do it with the router, so we've got to have a pretty flat surface in order to do that. So the next thing we got to do is just sand this thing down flat. We're going to, obviously we've got all different kinds of bubbles. I've already started here. I've got the real aggressive 60 degree on the disc sander that I just need to be, I'm going to be real careful, but I need to get this down flat so that router base will slide on there. Here we go. So I'm going to keep doing this, get this all down pretty much flat. I'm trying to avoid going clear to the wood. Now, once I get this done where all of this bulky stuff is down, Then I'm going to use the random orbital and I'm going to go over the whole thing and sand the whole surface down and get it nice and sanded down again, with the idea that I don't want to go clear through the resin. I want to stop short of the wood. So stick with us. When we come back, that hopefully will be all done, and then we can get to the edge and cut that edge off there. So hang on, we'll be right back. All right, boys and girls, we got the sanding pretty much done. We might do a little bit more, but it now for sure is a nice flat enough surface for my router base to ride on. Now I want to take care of this edge. Now this area right here was the worst. It just, and I don't, again, we haven't quite figured out exactly what happened on this resin, because some of it cured faster than others. Literally, some of it cured just like really, really quick, and we had no time to work with it, where other parts of it was okay. So it was some kind of chemical reaction, or it got too hot, or bad mixture. I don't know exactly what, but we're going to just do what we can to fix this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a section here. I'm going to cut this away, and then do a section down here. I am going to go all the way around, and what we're going to do is we're going to use the spiral upcut bit, and literally we're just going to cut away all of that and get it back to bare wood. Then we'll need to paint it purple again and spray it, and anyway, so here we go. Okay, where I started out here, started out pretty good. It was all cutting away, but obviously either there's something that we're missing here, because now all of a sudden we're hitting the bottom of where that 90 degree is. So we got to go a little bit deeper. I'm set at a 1/4 inch right now, so I'm going to have to go a little bit deeper because we got to get rid of all of that. Well, wait a minute, let me think. We're going to paint that all purple anyway, so do we need to get rid of that?
Is there a texture? Can you feel it?
No, can't feel a texture, just see the lines.
I don't see why we would if we're just going to paint it purple.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. So, anyway, you guys can see what we're doing here. I don't know that, again, we can't really feel it. We can just see those lines. But this is all going to be painted purple anyway. So, anyway, I think I'm going to keep it at a 1/4 of an inch and go all the way around. And then when we come back, we'll move on to the next step. I'm not sure what it is. Just stick with us. There will be a next step. So hang on, we'll be back. Hey guys, all right, we're back. So here's what we did off camera. We don't want this, we're already in up to 4 videos on this thing, and so we don't want to be real repetitive on what we've done and what we haven't done. So we've sanded this all down. We have gone in and cleaned out all the bubble areas in all those little tiny letters. We've done that. Ryan did a great job taking care of this edge. cutting that with the spiral upcut down low enough that that's all gone. And now what we're going to do is this was the big debacle here. You guys, if you want to know how we carved this, go watch the video that will be, where's it going to be? The link
it'll be on the end screen.
On the end screen of this video, go watch, there'll be a video on us carving that. But what we've decided to do is something a little bit different. We haven't done this before. This is just a piece of redwood I milled down to a 1/2 inch thick, or somewhere around that, and then I run it through the table saw at 45, chop saw at 45, sanded it down, might still have a little sanding, and we're just going to do an overlay right over the top and attach it and then pour the whole thing. So that's what our idea is. We're going to recarve all of this on this board, and then we'll attach this on here and then recarve and then repour the whole thing. Sounds really simple, huh? Yeah. It hasn't been, trust me.
The whole thing sounded kind of simple to begin with.
Yeah. But you know what? That's part of what we do. You just have to go with it, make the best decision you can at the time, see if we can figure out what happened. I think we know what happened on the pour, and we wouldn't be doing any of this if that hadn't happened, but it did, so that's where we're at.
What do you think happened on the pour?
I really think it was a combination of two things. I think it was too hot in that room. It was over 80 degrees when we poured that stuff, and I think we want it down around between 70 and 75. That was one. And then the other, if you go back and watch the video again, there'll be an end screen here. I mixed some of it and Vicky mixed some of it, and then we put that together. I think that was a mistake. I don't think that that's the way it should be done. So at least that's my theory of what went wrong. I hope we get it right this next time. Otherwise it's going to be bad. It's going to be really ugly if we have to make this whole thing over again. But the other option that we thought of is actually cutting off the top of this, literally running it through the table saw and cutting it off and laminating a new piece on. But I like this idea better, and even though this is covering a mistake, I think it looks kind of cool, especially cut it to 45 and have it kind of stand out. I think it's actually going to, theoretically, it's going to look pretty cool if it comes out the way I see it in my head. So anyway, stick with us. The next scene, what is the next scene?
I think the next scene is the pour.
Yeah, we're going to...
Scene carve, we just got to spray the purple around the edges and pour it.
Yeah, we're going to spray the purple around the edges. We're going to carve this off camera because you guys can go watch another video of us carving this. When we come back, this will be attached or not, but this will all be done, ready to go, and then hopefully we'll get into the pouring. So stick with us, guys. We'll be right back. Hey guys, all right, so we decided to do something a little bit different. We were thinking that we were going to carve this overlay sign, we were going to carve it outset letters, but after we really started kind of thinking about it and visualizing it, we decided to go inset letters and then give it that bevel that we did. You'll see here that we painted that purple, so then it'll have kind of a redwood color with purple frame around it. At least that's what we're thinking. So let's sand it off and see what it looks like. Here we go. Now I carved this with the profile bit and the 60 degree and tried to give it kind of a dimple background inside those inset letters. I probably have some high spots, but we'll see. Not too bad.
Not at all.
So what I'll do is I'll just take that purple spray that I have, put it on, spray it onto a toothpick, and then just dab it in there and clean those high spots up. Then we're going to put about 4 or 5 coats of clear on here so that it seals it up. And then when we come back, hopefully we'll be doing some resin pour. So stick with us. We'll be back. Hey guys.
Hey guys.
All right. So Eric and Vicki back. We are moving on to the next step of finishing Kevin's Charger sign. So I'm going to do part of this. Vicki's going to do part of it, but it's going to be brand new stuff that we really never done this before. So we're hoping it works.
If not, that's a big piece of firewood.
Okay, so my first part is we did this, and I think, did they see this already, Ryan?
Yeah.
So we did this sign. Now what we need to do is we need to put this overlay sign there. So here's the idea that we came up with. We're going to use these 2 little finishing nails that we've cut down. We're going to drill 2 holes in here, just a certain depth, to leave some of those finishing nails sticking out, so that when we put resin down here and on the back of the sign, when we push it down, it won't be sliding on us. It won't be moving around, and we'll push it right down on there theoretically and push all those bubbles out. So I am just... Huh?
Theoretically.
Yeah.
It's all theoretical.
Oop, that was in reverse. So hopefully that is the right depth. That's the reason that tape is there. And I'm trying to get this thing pretty much square. Now, if all goes right, those things should...
I think you need some more new wire cutters.
All these things are classics. Old reliables. Yep, it's just about what I wanted.
And so those aren't sticking out enough to where they'll split the board then, right?
No.
Let's hope so. Let's hope not. All right, so my pins are in place.
Are you
Yes.
going to drill the other side?
Nope. This stuff, the cool thing about this redwood is it's so soft, I don't need to drill receiving holes on the back of this,
Okay.
theoretically.
Theoretically.
I love that word.
That's
You're
my
using
idea.
it a lot.
I do. I like that word, evidently. It's a big word. I don't know too many big words, but that one I know.
All right. So while we're gonna set up and mix some resin, and Eric's gonna do that. But in the meantime, so you can see down here we had a lot of little holes, little bubbles that we drilled out, and I ordered some new total boat tabletop, and this is cool because I've never gotten one of these before. It's actually, can I put it down here, Joe?
Yeah, you're good.
It's like a Q&A for everything total boat pouring. It's, surfacing preparation, mixing, application, troubleshooting, which is a big thing. And I was reading this, and it says right here, and we'll put a picture of this so you guys can see it. It says surface imperfections, and it talks about how to sand them and stuff like that. And it says you can mix a small amount of total boat tabletop epoxy and feel the freshly sanded trouble spots. But this is the big one. This can also be done with clear super glue for a quicker fix on small imperfections such as fish eyes. Or fish eyes are like those what I call the pits.
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do, excuse me, we're going to use some of this Starbond medium. We've got the itty bitty tiny little tube.
I call them
on
spouts.
A spout. And we're going to fill up these holes with.
We've actually done a couple already. And
Yeah, we did a
can't
couple
even tell
already,
they're
and they look good. So we're just going to squeeze a little bit in here.
So the reason we're not using thick is because we really wanted to get down to the bottom of those divots. And the reason we're not doing thin is because thin is so thin, it's like water, and it would just get all over the surface of the sign. So that's the reason we picked a medium.
And see, and that, it goes right into the holes and fills it. This is awesome.
That really looks great.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
So I am going to continue doing this, and then Eric is going to mix up some epoxy, and then we'll come back. Sorry, I can't talk and do this at the same time. When we come back, Eric will take care of the resin and put that baby down there.
Okay, so we've got 2 ounces of the Total Boat tabletop. That's what I'm going to use in essence as glue to glue this thing in place. I've got my little pins. I pulled them back out, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover them with resin and then stick them back in the hole. Because I don't want any air bubbles to come out of those holes.
Can you hand me one of those toothpicks?
Yes.
I'm sorry, am I in your way?
No, you're good, Mom.
Make sure that thing. So it's, we think that one of the issues that we had when this thing went bad was the temperature in here, and it was up over 80 degrees, and right now it's just a little over 70 degrees. So we think that from a temperature standpoint, we think that that will be a better situation.
So you're brushing that on?
Yes.
Yeah, why not just pour it?
You picked right up on that. That
You
was,
know, that's
you're quicker than
That
people
was a
give you
little
credit
sarcastic there, husband.
you're being a little bit
Yes.
rude. You know,
I
you
am-
shouldn't treat your employees this way.
I'm sorry, my bad. I am brushing this on the back of this. Again, the whole idea behind this is I don't want any hairs. I don't want any air bubbles to come out from beneath this thing. So I'm putting a quick brush coat completely covering this thing, hopefully. Don't let me put it on there upside down, by the way.
Oh God, that would be rough.
Yeah.
If this turns out, though, I think this will look better than the original.
I think so. I really like this, the inset version that we did on this top piece better than the original carved version. I really do. I think it looks cleaner.
Yeah. Especially with a 45 degree on that board.
Yeah. And so it's not so much purple, it just has a purple frame around the redwood color. And I just think it looks cleaner. So let's just hope this thing comes out. All right, I'm looking at it with the light shining on it just to make sure that we have coverage here. I probably should have put it down on the board first. So now, here, we're going to do the same thing. We are just putting a thin coat.
And now, with the temperature the way it is now, how much working time do you have?
20 minutes. I'm just going by what this new paper that I said
Oh,
have
really?
says. Yeah, it says this is really a good paper. It says working time is 20 minutes at 77 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, wow, that's specific.
Very, yeah. Which I've never gotten one of those papers before, so it was pretty cool. I don't want to get in the way here.
So I've got to be sure I just happen to remember that I've got to be sure and put it all the way around the outside too.
Yeah.
Because there's the carving is about this size, but then there's the frame, the bevel goes beyond that.
Wow, this stuff really fills up those little holes. When you're using this glue like this, you do not want to use your, what is that called?
Accelerator?
Don't want to use your accelerator. And here's the reason why. I've done that before. Put it on, spray the accelerator on it, and what happens once you put your resin on, you get this foggy haze over the spots that you've used.
Oh.
So don't do that.
All right, now the trick is,
To make sure you get it right.
before I push it down, I've
Do you
got to
want-
square
where's your
that
tape
thing up.
measure?
I don't have, I can't really use my
Do you
tape.
want me
Do you
to?
want me to get it?
Nope, that's okay. I think I can eyeball this. You guys help me out.
I'm at a bad angle.
That actually looks pretty good,
I
top to
think,
bottom.
end to end, I think it looks pretty decent too.
Yeah. I think that's pretty good right there.
We're gonna hope that my eyeball is,
You sure you don't want me to measure it real quick? We have time.
you think you can? Without,
I
well,
know.
do you think
There
you
you go
can?
again.
I know.
There you go
I was
again.
just
Can
saying,
you read a tape measure, boy?
I was just saying without getting resin all over my tape measure. That's what I was referring to. I wasn't
That's
being
pretty much dead on.
about 1 inch.
Yeah, 1.16".
That's right about an inch.
All right.
That's good. I think we're good.
Take off your gloves and put on a
Yeah.
clean pair.
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
We might want to put something heavy on there. Because I do see,
Yeah,
Some
see, I'm a little
gaps.
nervous about that. That we still might get air bubbles coming out from underneath
well,
there.
I have a suggestion. Actually, hold on to that. Give me that. Okay, we are being very specific because of
Past
past
experience.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah, this is. In retrospect, I think maybe we should have,
Use more.
put more down.
So now I have a question. If you have areas that are clumped up, say like this, right? How it's bigger. When you put the flood coat over that, will you still see those, or will it just kind of
No,
even
it'll,
everything?
it'll
blend
it's
right in.
self-leveling, so it will.
Okay.
It will all blend right in. Yeah. Something. And
Once
so,
you pour it on and then move it around. Loop it. Careful.
what the thinking is, guys, is the pictures are, and Ryan actually brought this up. The pictures are basically what we just did with the board a little while ago. Is we're using the resin again, hopefully with the idea that if we can stick the pictures down and flatten them out so that we don't get bubbles that come up from underneath the pictures once we start doing the flood
A
pour.
little bit more down there. Thinner jigger.
It hurts. That way, right?
Yeah.
Watch your left foot, Mom. I got the camera right behind you.
All right, I think we need to take this one this way a little bit. Go right to the edge. This one comes this way, right to the edge. Okay, so we'll be back in just a minute and we'll do the big pour. Drum roll, please.
Yeah,
so now, here's what I'm going to do. As Vic is putting this resin over the overlay sign, then she's going to put some down around those pictures, and I'll zoom in on that. I'll show you a little bit of an issue going on with those pictures that hopefully I'll mitigate the chance of bubbles coming out from underneath those pictures. Those pictures are stuck down there with resin, but there are some of the corners and some of the edges that still seem like they've got air under them. Now I did use some Starbond and tacked them down pretty good, but they're
all right, ready?
Yeah. Okay, so I'll take this top side, and I want to show you guys exactly what I was talking about on those pictures. I'm going to zoom in here.
I don't think you're going to have to really mess with it. I mean, I don't think.
So there are a few of these little pictures of the pictures that have some edges that are kind of up, and so what I want to do is make sure that I'm using one of these little brushes and I'm kind of shoving resin up underneath there. Now the reason for that is just to make sure that we don't have air bubbles coming out. So there's several different places where there's edges that are kind of up a little bit. I know there was definitely one or two there.
Excuse me.
All right, guys, we're going to work on this for a while. We'll come back and show you what we got. Hopefully, one more scene and this thing will be done. Hey, guys. Well, it worked. We put that last coat on there. It's definitely not perfect, but it sure is better than it was. There are some imperfections here that I'm not super happy with, but all in all, I think the whole design, I think obviously our fix as far as putting this on, I think this actually looks much better than the original. I like the way I did the bevel on here, made it purple to match the edge. I really love the flat, the way we went in and took the texture down and made it flat. It just looks so smooth and clean. Again, we had some issues, obviously. There are more bubbles in here than I would like. The pictures laid down pretty good, but there were still a few little issues here and there. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with this thing. I think Kevin will like it. I'm just honestly happy that it's done. I'll be happy when it's in his hands and it's not in our hands. Because I'm just scared now something's going to fall off the wall and crack this thing or something. I just want it to be out. I'm sure you guys can understand. But anyway, it took 4 videos to get this done, which we thought it would take about half of that. But anyway, again, you guys know when we make mistakes, we try and fix them, and we want to pass that on to you guys. So anyway, not sure when you'll see this, but thanks so much for watching and suffering along with us on this thing. But again, I'm happy that I'm hoping that Kevin likes it. I'm happy that it's done, and we were able to make the adjustments and fix the bad things that went bad on here. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks so much for watching. And if you haven't subscribed yet, we'd love for you to subscribe. Click that little bell icon. If you have any questions, please email me directly, eric@makeawoodsign.com, or if you want to email Ryan, it's ryan@makeawoodsign.com. If you need any supplies, makeawoodsign.com, and we're on Instagram at makeawoodsign, And I guess that's about it. So thanks, guys. We love you. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.